Peace and welcome into the latest and the greatest episode of Men of a Certain Age, The Soup. I am Fro. I got my man Panero with me, and I got my man better known as DL from the ATL with me. What is up, my guys, on this Sunday morning?
Man, slow motion, man. I went to bed last night. I guess I'm about to turn the corner next week. Another lap around the sun, so I guess it caught up to me. Last night, I went to bed at like 9 o'clock after the SEC Go Dogs championship game, victory over Texas, man. I turned it in real early, man. I got this morning, no more bags into my eyes. I feel refreshed, feeling good, man. I'm ready to kick it with my guys this week, and looking forward to another profitable and prosperous and progressive week.
No doubt. Happy early born day, my Sagittarius brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Panero, what's going on up in the 716, Lord?
Man, we having some bipolar ass weather. It's 40 degrees right now. It's nice. It's nice for us out here at 40. Woo. Earlier in the week, man, it was blizzard conditions. So now everything's flooding because it's snow melting. But yo, I just heard some disturbing news from my guys in the pre-meeting before the show. There's no ginger and ginger ale?
Nope.
What is going on around here?
Class action lawsuit. It's a class action lawsuit against
our whole lives are surrounded by ginger ale. One time I went to go get some ginger ale and brought Verner's back by mistake. Guess what? You take your ass back to the store to get that ale. You know what I mean? Come on, man. A lawsuit. Ain't no ginger. We need the ginger, right? Come on, man.
That's a fact, man. And I'm sucking on this ginger ale right now like a baby with a bottle because, man, fellas, I'm dealing with a little something. The weather done took me under a little bit, man. I'm battling the cold. I've been battling it since like Wednesday, man. I'm like in round 8 right now. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stick and move to keep him off of me. It's a battle, man, but I'm in it to win it. You know what I'm saying?
Lose, exactly.
But as always, man, on this Sunday morning, it's good to see y'all, man. And before we get into the heaviness of it, I got to hit y'all with the...
Whoa.
So, yeah, man, we got the 716ers out on the left coast this afternoon fighting the Rams of Los Angeles. Harold, what's your take on the game this afternoon, Lord?
Ooh, that line been fluctuating all week. I've been watching it. It's at 3.5 now. The Bills are a 3.5-point favorite. I'm going to have to go with my mob. 34-30. I think it's going to be some scoring because the elements aren't going to be an issue. Even though if it was when we were here and it was snowing, we still did our team. But now we're going out where the elements won't be an issue. I think we're going to be throwing it around, running it around. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right in LA. You know what I mean?
I like that. UH, what's your thoughts on the game out there?
It's wild because I was a huge LA fan because I played with him on Madden, so I always rooted for him to do well. But this year I switched to the Bills this year, actually, for the first time ever playing with the Bills on Madden, and I'm having my best year ever. I must say I'm having my best year ever. Obviously, I want the Bills to win, being from the town, and it shouldn't be a problem just as far as football is concerned because, like D said, there's no weather that we have to worry about. Also, they playing indoors, so it's going to be fast. I think that benefits the Bills. The Bills are physical. I think that Matthew Stafford is an old, savvy veteran, so you always have to be careful of him. And Puka and Cooper and Reynolds, some boys out there. Like I said, I know them because I used to play with them. I think their offense is up to par, but the Bills' defense definitely is something that can hold the Rams' offense, whereas I don't think the Rams' defense can hold the Bills' offense.
If the Bills don't get a slow start, they start slow.
Oh, they start slow, man. Yeah, I hate the slow start.
And then the thing with you got to be careful with McVay. He'll throw a wrench in your whole shit, too. So.
Yeah, he's an offensive mastermind. Yeah, he's an offensive mastermind. It's going to be a good one.
So let me ask y'all this. Might the Bills be looking forward to next Sunday already? Or do you think this team is a different team that they going game by game and gonna handle their business? Because next week is a possible Super Bowl showdown with the Detroit Lions.
I think McVay keeps them grounded, you know, and I think the fact that they don't have a real, other than Josh, they don't really have McDermott. Yeah, McDermott. I'm sorry. I think he keeps them grounded. Other than Josh being the only real superstar, I think they come together well, and I think they take it game by game, to be honest with you.
All right, I like that. Let's go.
The Bills make me wanna kick your heels up and throw your hands hands up and throw your head back and come on now.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Bills, man. Let's go out there and get that W out there on the left coast.
Get
Shout out to all the motherfucking mafia that's out there in La La holding it down
already. Yes, sir.
with a 716. But yeah, man, it was a real interesting week this week, man. Jumped off early with President Biden giving a pardon to his son, Hunter Biden. We're going to talk about that today on this particular episode. Also, man, is this a sign of things to come in the United States with the UnitedHealth CEO getting knocked off? Condolences to his family.
Yeah,
But you know, that's really shady what happened up there in the city with him and just getting assassinated like that.
crazy.
You know? But the medical industry has been in the news the last couple of weeks talking about that they were cutting anesthesia. And when you're having surgeries, they're only going to cover so much of the anesthesia. It's a lot of things going on with old Agent Orange. Get ready to go ahead and grab the mantle. Also, man, I don't know if y'all aware of this or not. You know, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and the next neighboring state is Kentucky. And there was a judge in the state of Kentucky who was doing some real shady stuff. And a sheriff actually walked up in his chambers and blew his back out.
Whoa.
And it comes to find out that the judge and the sheriff, they were actually running a little brothel. Acting and getting sexual favors for a lighter sentence. In some cases, people get ankle bracelets and they have to pay for the ankle bracelet. So
Wow.
they can't pay for the ankle bracelet. If you can get me some Beelzebubs, I'd be able to do a little something. So that's another thing that we want to talk about on this episode, man. And also, man, up in NYC, we got the manslaughter case for Mr. Jordan Neely. That was the guy who was on the New York City sub, who was choked out by Daniel Penny. This Daniel Penny cat put Jordan Neely in the dope fiend and just choked him out. So they dropped the manslaughter charges on that. So that's something I want to talk with y'all about as well. Also, man, in Black America, in the culture, Mr. Byron Allen, man, who's been around since we were children. He is now a billionaire, and he has a case against McDonald's because McDuff's seems to be not advertising with Black media. He has a $10 billion lawsuit against McDonald's, and the judge said, "Let's take it to the stage, sucker." He said, "We going to trial." We want to talk about that and bring that to the light because I know it's not talked about a lot in a lot of circles. Also, man, within the culture, man, I'm gonna throw a name out, man, that's been surfacing in the culture a lot in the last 6 months. I'm like, who is this dude? Where did he come from? He looks like fucking Adolf Hitler. And who I'm talking about is this. Are y'all familiar with this cat, man? Andrew?
Yeah, I'm definitely familiar with him. I watched him on YouTube. He came into my algorithm, I guess, when I used to watch him and Charlemagne with their show. And so that's how I got aware of him. I've been aware of him for about maybe 2-3 years, maybe 3 years, 3-4, who knows. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that conversation. Definitely.
We definitely go broach that. And since you mentioned Mr. Charlemagne made a special guest appearance on The View. And things got heated between him and Whoopi Goldberg on The View concerning Joe Biden pardoning his son. Charlemagne has been in the soup. He stays in the soup, really. He's a major ingredient for whatever reason.
A tomato.
Yeah. Say word. You think about Charlemagne and then Charlemagne the God. We've coined him Charlemagne the fraud. I got a new one. It's Charlemagne the chameleon because he changes his color depending on where he is and what he's trying to do.
Exactly.
So we definitely want to talk about Charlemagne the chameleon on this particular episode of the show. But before we get into the soup, man, I want to broach this topic with y'all. So we've obviously, the Drake and the Kendrick thing is still in the air. And I think when Drake came through the door, we should have known that he really wasn't an ally, that he really wasn't hip hop. He is manufactured.
Right.
It is what he is. And something came across my TL that I was like, say word. This should have threw up all the red flags that there ever could be. Mr. Aubrey, I heard his last name. It's not Drake. His last name is not Drake. It's Aubrey something else.
His middle name is Drake or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Let me show y'all this, and y'all give me y'all thoughts on this little episode real quick.
You know what it is? It's Hot 97 is the station. Funkmaster Flex, I run the city. My man Drake is in the building. We shut it down.
Give me something for the city.
And you just stepped into New York.
Young Drizzy, yeah. All right, I told you. New York, you gotta understand, I've been on the road 2 months. Just grinding it out, you know what I'm saying? I've been on the road really, like, doing these shows every night. So I'm coming in, ooh. That's how you feel tonight, Flex?
What is he doing?
He looking for his rhyme on his phone.
You called me off. You called me all the way off now. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna get this. Hold on. Can we come back? Can we do it?
Can we go back?
Yeah. Nice. I can be. Hold on. I'm gonna get him. I promise. I'm gonna get him. I promise. I can't get.
Oh wow.
Wow. What the
I can't
hell?
give him everything because, like, you gotta understand. This is my first. You want me to do it again? You want me to give? This is my first, like, real time on the radio. This is my first real.
Your first real, like, blast off.
Like with the big dog.
Launch.
Incredible.
Manufactured. This dude ain't never been hip hop, y'all. How you get up on Funk Flex and not have a rhyme ready?
I got a 16 for
going
Flex.
up there. You know what you're going up there for, yo. P,
Yo,
give it to me.
There was a skit that Chappelle did a while ago where he was in the booth, but he would never say nothing but turn my headphones up the whole time. He was like, "Is my headphones up? Turn my headphones up. Yo, son, my headphones is up. It's my headphones."
What? Turn my headphones up. I'm serious, nigga. Turn them up. Turn them up.
Like, he wouldn't say nothing. I just like, yo, what is you doing? How you on Funk Flex in the city and don't spit because you don't have no freestyle skills? He was looking at his phone. I think he was looking for something to spit and he couldn't find it. So he was stalling. Go from the top. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Conway get on there and just look around and just spit because he's a real MC. Drake, Aubrey, Graham is his name.
Graham, there you go.
Drake DeGrassi is not an MC, fam. He's manufactured. I said a long time ago, Fro, we were talking about Drake. He reminds me of Madonna. He fits into whatever culture he needs to fit in to make that bread, to make music for whatever culture, whatever. But the thing is about it is, it's not hip hop, but it could be, sometimes it's good music to listen to. Just because it's not hip hop don't mean it's not good music. It's just not hip hop. He's sing-alongy. He's playing for the bride. The bride might like it, so you get her ear. You might be able to get her somewhere because you got a little Drake going. But he ain't. It's far from hip hop, fam. Far from it.
You ain't your boy.
I've been hoodwinked. I've been bamboozled.
Bro.
I've been led astray. I must say, because you know what? I just thought about watching that. I remember I put up a post on Facebook. This had to be way back in the day because you were still on Facebook, and I remember the comment you made. I put up a comment. I said, "This guy brought me back to hip hop." He was like, "This guy."
I was disappointed because, first of all, when you did that, it hit me with a blow. I'm like, nah. Like you said, Lord, that cat, didn't bring you back to manufactured, A&R'd, Villy Vanilli.
Pretty much at this point. And you know what? I'm never afraid to admit when I was wrong. That's one thing about me. I admit I was wrong. I like his music. Now, here's the thing about it. I like his music, right? I think that some of his lyrical content, whoever wrote it, which is something you don't say about any other hip hop artist ever, is very talented, right? Because he does have catchy lyrics. If you listen to something that's not really too deep, but it is fire, you know what I mean? He's not going to take you down a KRS One road. He's not going to take you into the realm of Rakim, or even the realm of some of his contemporaries, Kendrick Lamar and Big Sean and people like that. But he is going to make you dance and things like that. I was misled and led astray because of the fact that he followed the traditional route. He did a mixtape. The mixtape got hot, right? Yeah. Then he got an album. The album was hot. Then he did another album. That album was hot. Then he did another album. The album was hot. He 3 hot albums. Then after a while, I'm just like, I'll let him and the girls chill. I think when he did, if you're seeing this, it's too late. I think that was the last. That's when I cut him off, right there. I hear him on the radio, so it's interesting to see that in the beginning he really couldn't spit, because I got 16 for anybody at any time from 86. I still got my 86 round in my head. So for him not to be able to come up with a high 16, you know what I'm saying?
Flex.
Oh, that's crazy, man. So yeah, man, he just looked. Hey, listen, like I said, I was bamboozled, hoodwinked, and led astray.
Funk Flex is a gatekeeper.
Come on.
Correct.
He's a gatekeeper.
Correct.
He should have never stamped this cat after that.
No, it should have been a rap.
He stood up there and doing flex. Ooh. And this is my first time on the radio. Like, dude, did you think you was coming up to Funk Flex to have an interview?
Right.
Was he not familiar with Flex?
That's what he does.
Did his team not prepare him adequately for him to go up to Flex to have, like you said, UH, a hot 16? He only had to spit one time. It wasn't like he had to continue flowing. He could have spit something from that we didn't know about previously written or something and made it seem like it was a freestyle.
Nigga, I got a 16. I have a 16. You got a 16, bro. I heard your 16 before.
Fam, he literally looked nervous.
Clueless. He looked clueless.
You know what I mean? His beard actually started growing while he was... That's how nervous the cat was, man. And I had never seen this before until it just popped up on my TL, man. I'm like, huh? New York, y'all signed off on this?
Unbelievable. Big Tigger could have went in there and just spit something real quick. You remember how Big Tigger in the basement of BET used to spit after somebody spit just off the dome?
Go with it. Tigger used to go with it.
Yeah, man. It just goes to show, man, that he's not like us.
Yeah, he's not. He is not.
And the situation has gotten really crazy and hectic. And I started that because I wanted to go into the Andrew Schultz dude. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, first of all, man, how do y'all feel about DJ Vlad, Adam 22,
Trap Laura Ross?
Who?
Trap Laura Ross.
Okay. And now this dude, Andrew Schultz, is coming in and talking about the culture, man. What's your thoughts on this Andrew Schultz person, P?
You know what? Excuse me. When I see Andrew Schultz, I kind of scroll because I already know someone gave him, I think it was maybe Charlemagne. I don't know who. Someone gave him the key to the culture to be able to say whatever he wants, which to me is ridiculous. I think he was with Charlemagne saying some negative things about hip hop, and Charlemagne didn't pause him and stop him and tell him, listen, you're not invited to this. Who are to have any type of criticism of hip hop or whatever? And I'm glad Kendrick checked him by saying, you don't be letting these people talk about our people like that. You know what I mean? Because it's not proper. You're supposed to step in, and Charlemagne didn't do that. And I don't know where he gets the gall. He got a lot of balls to say the stuff that he says. And I think I blame ourselves. We got to keep control of our culture and keep certain people out that don't deserve to be in our culture. He's one of those people, man. I don't know who he think he is, but he's going to fuck around and find out he say something wrong about the wrong person. You know what I mean?
But see, the thing is, as these dudes cannot maintain or reach a audience talking about white people shit. I don't understand how we just get these dudes, Adam 22, pass,
especially Vlad. They just vultures, fam.
DJ Vlad.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on this Schultz cat?
I understand that we're on YouTube, and I understand this is available to the entire world, right? So I'm gonna be as tactful as possible. I'm not fucking with it. You know what I mean? I've never been a fan of white people coming into our culture, and regardless if it's been jazz, regardless if it's been comedy, regardless if it's been sports, or obviously that was a little bit different. But I've never been a fan of European influence in our culture. And the reason why is because even though that dude lived down the street from you or he's from the same neighborhood as you, he still does not understand the struggle. He does not understand the finite intricacies that go along with being black. So there's no way in the world that just because he grew up on the corner from you or he's your boy or he's blah, 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 or he didn't have food when you didn't have food. No, there's a complete difference. And to me, they should never have an opinion. And I remember, I'll never forget this. I remember this was a obviously a long time ago. I was at probation and the dude that was there was a black guy, an older black guy. And he was like, and it was one white dude. It was like 16 black dudes and one white dude. And he was like, you know what the problem is? He's like, that white boy there wasted his whiteness. He's like, he had the opportunity to do everything in the world, but he chose to be a fool with it. You know what I'm saying? He told the white boy, he was like, I'll buy your whiteness for $400. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand that by us letting these people into our society, they get comfortable and they learn things that they shouldn't learn about us. They feel comfortable with saying things that they should never be allowed to say. Adam 22, how many rappers has he got killed and or beat up? Vlad, how many rappers interviews have he posted that got killed and or locked up? Trap Lord Ross, if you just Google Trap Lord Ross, he's doing millions and millions of videos off of black people killing each other in Chicago, LA, Jacksonville. It's another one. End of sentence. This is a white boy down in Florida. All he does is report on rappers and paperwork and them going to jail and that type of stuff. Why can't you do that with your own people, like you said, Fro? I'm sure there are, in terms of percentages, there are a lot more white people committing crimes than there are black people. Now, it's just amazing that we give these people a pass and an opportunity to be our friends when Malcolm already told us that you can be an ally, but never a friend.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Let's take a quick look at some of this Andrew Schultz work.
Weirdo. And with the gay shit, too.
Yeah, the buck breaking. What kind of buck breaking shit is that?
Weirdo, man. Yeah. Fucking weird white people, man. Well, you can fuck me. Fucking weird. He looked like a fucking... He just... He looked like Freddie Mercury.
He does look. Another one bites the dust, mustache ass wearing ass motherfucker.
Like, we are up right now.
Yeah.
The biggest story about the album, outside of the album and people enjoying it, was a sub at a comedian. Yeah. And you don't even got to say my name and it still makes headlines?
It's crazy.
You're welcome. You are what? How many views did I give him, you think? I would make love to him. There's nothing he can do about it.
Come on, man.
Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him. And the
black dude sitting there laughing.
Decide if it's consensual or not.
It's not funny, bro.
Only thing he could do. I need you like this. I need 5. I need it to be like 2.
Wow. Come on, man.
All right.
Come on, man.
Yes. Listen, rappers are telling comedians we need to be more respectful to women. So we gotta sit back and reflect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're the most pious group.
Listen, nobody has respected women more.
You love
through
women.
art.
Yes.
Than rappers. Okay?
Absolutely.
So I completely understand how a rapper could look at a comedian telling a joke and be like, yo, y'all need to switch that shit.
Yeah.
How dare y'all keep saying your wives are annoying? Be more like us and, ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. I beat my bitch with a stick. What? You can lick on the nut. I beat my bitch with a stick. What?
Did you just think of that?
That's a real lyric.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It really ain't, though.
Wow.
As usual with the elite comedy Assassins, they start off being funny, then it starts to get a little bit cringy, followed by bucket loads of copium. However, Andy and the Toy Story boys took it to a whole new level where it went from cringe to just being straight up fucking weird. Schultz really is a strange dude. He's got some demons behind those eyes. But to start with, I'm going to give you the full context behind this whole situation because it goes back a few episodes to when the British podcasters from Shits and Gigs went on flagrant. Just before we get into that, remember to check out the link in the description below to my Patreon, where you'll find all my uncensored longer form content. I just dropped a video the other day reviewing Tony Hinchcliffe's Twitter space.
So yeah, this is the latest thing that this cat, Andrew Schultz, has been burning up the internet with, is his saying that he wants to rape or sodomize Kendrick Lamar.
No, he's saying he let Kendrick Lamar rape and or sodomize him.
Oh, that's why he threw legs up in the air like that.
Said he wants to sexualize Kendrick Lamar. Is what was said.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So once again, man, you know why? And you said it in the beginning. Where he came in at is with Charlemagne. Charlemagne is the reason why, you know, black people, I'm not going to say all, majority of the black people know him because he got this podcast with Andrew Schultz. At some point in time, man, when are you going to stand up and just say, yo, everything ain't for everybody?
And everything ain't funny.
And the thing is, Charlemagne, like I said from the beginning, Charlemagne should have checked his ass from the outset. But Chameleon, it depends on what was going on at that particular time. So he with Andrew Schultz. So can I get money with Schultz? So I'm going to let him say whatever the fuck he wants, which is horrible.
It's going to drive his views up. But like I said, my whole thing is he was introduced to my algorithm because of my watching The Breakfast Club and things like that. The algorithms are a very powerful thing. They make people and events known to you. So for him to be slid into my whole life, I guess you can put it that way, virtually, it's interesting to see that years down the line where he actually is. Whereas before, I did watch him do crowd work and I watched him be a racist and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's wild. This dude is really wild. But at some point in time, that extreme bit gets old, tired, and played out. Look at Andrew Dice Clay. You know what I mean? So we can look back 40 years and see what generally happens with that. No shock comedians have ever made it. Bob Goldthwait died of a heart attack. Rodney Dangerfield was probably the only one, and maybe Don Rickles with his rude ass, who made it to older ages. But other than that, man, these last few generations of comedians haven't lasted long, and I'm expecting Mr. Schultz to be lasting long either, because he clearly has lost all black support. And if you support him, then you're not black in my eye.
No, so here's the thing is the Drake fans are championing him because
it's a Jewish angle, right?
It could be, but it's just a point that there's either your team Kendrick or your team Drake.
Oh, that too. Yeah, obviously that. Yeah.
All the Drake fans are coming out of the woodwork saying, oh, he's a comedian. It's funny, this and that and the third. Like, yeah, it's funny. Joke about your own fucking people.
But there's no sensationalism in him joking about his own people, though. You know,
because they'll close the doors to him.
Right.
You know, like we've got gatekeepers. Like when you were talking earlier about Funk Flex being a gatekeeper, there are gatekeepers in our society, in the hip hop culture, and unfortunately, the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne, is one of them. So we need to watch who we let in the door.
Gotta filter it, man.
Yeah.
As a folk, are we too accepting?
Of course. They believe
it, bro.
The reason why is because the majority, I'm gonna make it real simple. And I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but historically, the reason why black people are so forgiving is because of Christianity. What it does, because Christianity teaches you to turn the other cheek.
Right.
So you're always looking for someone to be better and someone to prove themselves, to not be like they've shown you. That's traditionally why we let people in. Because if you look at the history and the interactions from us with those guys from the past 400 some odd years, it definitely has been a one-sided relationship, to say the least.
Yeah, it's sad that we continue to allow folks to come in and use our culture in order to benefit their lifestyle and how they're living. And at some point, we got to stop that.
Right.
And shut that down. Now, as we were talking, we mentioned Charlemagne the Chameleon. And the Chameleon showed up on my mom's favorite show this past week.
Your mom's go to Heavy View. I see you keep on mentioning the View. She must go with it.
Man, she is having her God degree watching the View every minute.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Charlemagne the Chameleon pops up on the View, and he gave some poignant, how should I say that? He had some stuff he wanted to say to Whoopi and the ladies from the View concerning President Biden. Let's get into the Chameleon real quick. It's puzzling to me that, okay, you have a platform, a popular platform within Black America, within the culture, right? But when do you become the political voice and you start pontificating about stuff other than Drake and Kendrick Lamar? Obviously, he lives in the world, like in the real world, like all of us do, and we all have an opinion. But for him to be paraded out on The View and Stephanie Rule and CNN,
Fox News.
Right, how did it get to that?
Shit, I don't know. Maybe because he wrote a book. I don't know. I don't understand how entertainers are pushed in the Black community. Entertainers are pushed to the forefront to speak politics when it's really not their lane. You know, I think Malcolm said it a long time ago. You got these entertainers out here pontificating for Black people that don't know what they're talking about. But he knew what he was talking about, and they, you know, they're trying to shun him and assassinate him pretty much. So I don't know. The thing I do agree with a little bit with what he said was the Democrats have to get dirty just like the Republicans get dirty. I said it last week. Sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. But I think when I first saw the news, I think a text job was like, shit, if that was my son and he was about to be subject to a Trump administration, of course I'm going to pardon him. Fuck that. I can change my mind and I have the power to do so. So it's not like he was being hypocritical. I think like what Whoopi said, he was like, wait a minute, y'all already got this guy in office. Y'all elected a felon, a pussy grabber, but I'm supposed to let my son sit and go to jail under his administration? Man, get my son up out of there. I'm getting him out of there too.
Man, listen, just like you said, any parent is going to do what they can for their child. You know what I mean? Stopping short of your child being a menace as a killer, as just a straight up menace. They said that those charges that were brought up on Hunter Biden, they wouldn't even been charged if he was just a regular
person, citizen,
average Joe.
Yep.
What was your thoughts on President Biden giving the pardon to his son, UH?
I think that's the right thing to do. And as far as people can say there's other things that are more important and other people who deserve it, but number one, that's his son. Number two, it was entirely political. Regardless if his Justice Department initiated the investigation or not, it was because of the pressure from the Republicans. So yeah, he did the right thing. Trump sells pardons for $1 million. Come on, it is. He pardoned Lil Wayne, he pardoned Kodak Black. You know what I'm saying? People who are doing far more damage in a different way to society than his son getting a gun while he was a cokehead. You know what I mean? Come on. That's basically what it boils down to. How many cokeheads have guns? How many weed heads have guns in state where marijuana isn't legalized? You know what I mean? Come on, man. That's ridiculous. I'm glad he did it. I'm not a parent, but I would have done the same thing. And I really don't see why it's even a big topic. What I will say is that I do disagree with Charlemagne because, like Whoopi said, Democrats are a monolith. Now, I'm a registered Democrat just because I enjoy voting in the primaries. But I will jump around on that ballot when it's time. Like I clearly made known before, I voted for Brian Kemp over Stacey Abrams. I can't think I voted for Brad Raffensperger over the Korean lady. So I know it depends on the issues and certain.
That's your life.
Yeah, how it affects me and how I interpret our government and how I want our government to be run. So, yeah, man, it's we're not a monolith, and I think that it all boils back to individual choice, and people should stop looking at us as such.
Man, first of all, please share, subscribe, and comment down below.
Hit that notification bell too.
4 o'clock and win it, baby.
Hit that notification bell so you can get that soup when it's hot right off the stove, man. Shit is real. And people are finding out day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, and second by second about Trump. Let me show this one to y'all, man. So the vice president of the Steelworkers Union who endorsed Trump now says he's very frustrated. Trump says he will cancel the U.S. Steel Nippon deal. He lied to us. It's like a gut punch. Thousands of dollars and his job. So this dude has been nothing but a liar since he came through the door. And now y'all wanna act surprised when he does the exact opposite, when he looked you in your face, shook your hand, and smiled, and said this is what he's gonna do, but then get behind closed doors with Vivek Ramaswamy and old cybercar Musk and do the total opposite. How can the Democrats, and again, some of the things that he said that I agree with. The Democrats, man, I'm tripping on them going in on Joe Biden about pardoning his son. He shouldn't have done that. That's not what you should be doing. Listen, do y'all know who coming in the house next month?
Right.
And the type of shit he's capable of doing? Why wouldn't he protect his own?
And don't you think Trump is going to pardon all the insurrectionists when he get in?
He is.
This man, you have a problem with this man pardoning his son when they about to let people who try to overthrow the government out of jail? Come on, man. Get off that moral high ground. That's what he was saying. A lot of Democrats, even though we're not the same, we're not all the same, but some of us have this, we're up on a moral high ground where we shouldn't do this and this, that, and the third, and blase splee, while the Democrats are doing whatever the fuck they want to do, saying whatever they want to say. And you know what I'm saying? You go ahead and eat it like it's filet mignon.
It's like the political equivalency to evangelists on the Republican side. There's that high moral majority Democratic side, and like you said, and then the evangelicals, the Republican side, who are pristine and Christian and all those type of things, and obviously they're a bunch of fucking hypocrites too.
Exactly.
The ball bounces both ways.
Exactly.
Man, as we continue to cook up the soup, and now that we've gone over to the political side, man, I'm going to introduce y'all to this next one. And this is about a judge in Kentucky who was on super shady stuff. Let's get into that real quick.
Yeah, I peeped this 2 weeks ago, yo.
This is new to me, fam.
Watch this, yo.
Are you in charge of the girls?
UnitedHealth CEO was gunned down on the streets of New York.
Okay.
The shooting that took our breath away was the killing of Judge Kevin Mullins right there in his own chambers. We know who fired those shots. It was on video right there. That was Sean Mickey Steins right there with the gun. He was the sheriff at that time of their rural Kentucky county. And he was also a close friend of the judge. And he's not a sheriff anymore. He's an inmate. Waiting for
this ought to be.
Like the CEO murder. The motive in the Judge Mullins case is a mystery, which means that the two men's long shared history has been under the microscope. And tonight, a gut punch of an exclusive to tell you about. It turns out there are recordings about the dead judge that tie him to some very dirty business in that county. A sex for favors scandal that sent a former deputy to jail and got the sheriff, who's now facing murder, sued in federal court. News Nation investigative producer Allison Weiner uncovered these recordings, and she joins me live now. You're such a great producer. We send you out to dig this stuff up, and then I have to have you on television to report it. What kind of a recording are we talking about, Allison?
These are recordings from the criminal investigation into Deputy Fields, the guy that went to prison for the sex for favor scandal. And Deputy Fields was convicted of rape 3, sodomy, and also a perjury. So the recordings are from his victim, And she subsequently has filed the civil rights lawsuit in federal court. The victim is Sabrina Atkins, and she was interviewed by police about what had happened to her when she was an inmate in Fletcher County in Whitesburg. And that's where Sheriff Stein was working and also where Ben Fields was working. And these recordings, I was listening to them and I just stopped and was like, I'm beginning to see that Sheriff Stein's life was coming apart like one block at a time. And this was not a good thing that I was listening to. And let's take a listen to it and then we can talk about it.
He does have some videotapes of some stuff in the judge's chambers.
What kind of stuff?
Just with girls' sexual and stuff.
What describe? Have you seen the videos?
I've seen one partly, just him having sex with girls for the able to get out of jail.
Who was having sex?
Ben and just some higher ups up there.
Who?
The judge and.
You saw the video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did you see on the video?
I've seen Judge Mullins having sex with a girl.
Who was the girl?
I don't know, because I don't know a lot of people from over there.
Where was it at?
In his office, in the judge's chambers.
Is that the same place that you were meeting Ben? Is that how you know it was the judge's chambers? And this was Judge who?
Allison, wow, that's pretty clear. That's her saying Judge Mullins was having sex with these people in his chambers, just like the other deputy. Here's the question I have, because it seemed to me that it became an open secret among female inmates that you can sleep your way out of jail because these men and these higher-ups, not the ones necessarily on the screen, this is an allegation only, will have sex for these release favors.
That's correct. And by the way, the Sheriff Stein denied during his deposition, which was a couple of days before the murder, that he had any idea that any of this was going on. But the fact is that the plaintiff in the lawsuit, again, Sabrina Atkins, said that she had heard rumors and that you could exchange sex for not having to wear your ankle bracelet. She didn't say that specifically, but for some favors. And that's exactly what ended up happening because she couldn't afford to pay for the ankle bracelet. You have to pay for the ankle bracelet weekly. And those are the allegations in the civil lawsuit that Sheriff Stein should have known or knew about what was happening with Ben Fields. And Sheriff Stein is the big name in that lawsuit. It's Sheriff Stein and unknown superiors and Ben Fields. So he's facing some heavy damages and the loss of his entire career based on this civil rights lawsuit. And frankly, the plaintiff's lawyers told me, Ned Pillersdorf has told me several times, because it's like they were running a brothel out of that courtroom.
Unbelievable.
Exactly. Unbelievable. So, how many other counties are getting down like this?
I actually knew about this story because it came across my YouTube and I actually watched it. I got interested in spinning about that. But to answer your question, there was also a black judge in Richmond who actually had somebody under basically the same circumstances. She was under parole. He used to meet her at probation, pardon me. He used to meet her at the hotel. He ended up getting her pregnant. Yeah, and he was like a real strict judge, like real harsh. And he ended up drawing her to a field and killing her and the baby. And yeah, so he's obviously dealing with that in Virginia, in Richmond. But yeah, I heard about this. And the reason why he popped the judge, the reason why the sheriff popped the judge is the boys that just came from lunch, right? Him, a couple other boys. It was the sheriff, the deputy, the sheriff, a couple of his deputies, the judge. They just all came from lunch. The sheriff found out that the judge was texting his daughter. Ooh. That's why he popped his ass, because he probably figured that, you know what I'm saying? He knew how the judge was getting down. For him to be texting his daughter, he was like, nah, man. Plus, I got all this other shit about to happen, man. You trying to get at my daughter too, man? Pow. He shot, I seen the whole video when he shot, dude fell out the chair, he rolled up, a dude tried to crawl away, popped him again.
Wow.
Then dude tried to run around a desk, dude tried to crawl around a desk, he came around a desk and popped him again. And that was his man, like I said, they just had lunch. But when he realized that it was his daughter, that dude was texting his daughter, man, he went apeshit.
Wow. We should send all this information to Andy Schultz so he can make jokes about it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Panero,
I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
When you see this, and you have these Europeans abusing their powers like that, man.
when you said Kentucky, the first thing I thought was, shit, Kentucky, poor, red, white. Most of the people are on welfare.
Hillbilly.
The majority of the people in Kentucky's poor, man. Kentucky's majority white. Kentucky votes against their own interests. They're red as fuck. They're a red state. And the judge is just taking advantage of the fucking uneducated people there. He's a judge. He's exuding his power. You're going to have to give me some blase Beelzebub if you want to come out for probation or parole or whatever. It's just horrible. And like you said earlier, Fro, what other areas are doing this? Now it got to a point where the power got too much. He starts sexting or texting, like you said, Don, his daughter. Shit, I don't blame him.
Popped his ass.
I might have to try to choke you out because I don't know about killing you, but it would have to be some violence done if you texted my daughter and I know how you get down with all these inmates, these women in orange or whatever the fuck it is, whatever's going on down there. But yeah, man, this is new to me, and it's crazy.
It's some movie shit.
Yeah,
is what it is. Like basically some movie type shit. How long was he getting down like this? How long did it go on? Nobody knows. They didn't say how long this man was a judge,
right?
And how long this dude was a sheriff. Obviously, they came together and cooked up their own soup and started saying, like you said, these hillbillies, they're gonna do whatever they can to try to lessen their load.
Right.
If I say, yo, I'm gonna have the deputy bring you to my chambers at 1:30, you just be ready to perform. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make sure you don't need that ankle bracelet. Deal?
How disrespectful that is to the court, though. Don, you work in the court system, right?
That's wild, man. Because judges are a different breed of people, man. I actually got 3 cases tomorrow, man. But judges are wild, man, because they're so individualized. So some are very loose and some are very more liberal. They may appear to be more friendly, but they're really sticklers for certain things. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see that they're just regular people like everybody else. They're going to take advantage of the system while they can. Like I said, it was another case in Virginia, the case in Kentucky. Who knows how many? If it's happening in Tuscaloosa, Mississippi, where an average yearly income is $5,400. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think about that, man. And it's obviously these systems are taking advantage of the fact that people don't have the economic way to buy their way out of
situations.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Now, from one legal system, whereas those two dudes are definitely got what they deserve, you know what I mean, for being shady anchors, shady individuals. One is no longer with us, and the other one is going to be in jail for a very long time. But this next one is about New York City and what happened to my man up there. So let's visit this real quick.
A deadlocked jury triggering a surprise twist in the trial of Daniel Penny. To avoid a mistrial, prosecutors dropped the main charge of manslaughter in the second degree in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely on a New York City subway train last year. Neely struggled with homelessness, drug addiction, and mental health issues. Jurors must now consider the second count of criminal negligent homicide, a lesser charge which carries a maximum of 4 years in prison. Prosecutors maintain Penny was justified in using some physical force to subdue Neely, who subway passengers say entered the train acting erratically, shouting threats, but argued Penny used excessive force, placing him in a chokehold for nearly 6 minutes. In a voluntary station house interview, Penny claimed that he was not applying pressure. After Neely's death was ruled a homicide, the case sparked mass demonstrations in New York, accusing Penny of vigilantism. But others have contributed to Penny's legal defense fund.
Yeah, of course.
Back Monday to begin deliberations on the lesser charge. If they cannot reach a unanimous decision, it could result in a mistrial.
Oh yeah, man. Here it is. This Daniel Penny. I'm gonna put this man in the dope fiend. And basically, like I said, choked him out, snuffed him out. And now they want to have, they're dropping the manslaughter charges, What's your thoughts on this, UA?
For his sake, he does not want to go, what y'all call it up north. Y'all call it up north up there, right? Or down here they call it up the road. He doesn't want to go up north because immediately when he goes to prison, he's going to be food.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's going to be quick, it's going to be painful, and it's not going to be cool. And I don't think that he makes it through any prison sentence, period, just because of his blatant disregard for life. Now, whether that was racially motivated or not, I'm always going to think that it was.
Yes.
That a white person always wants to control a black person and be the superhero savior for everyone around with the whole colonizer complex. I hope he does get convicted of something and sent to prison. Eye for an eye. I don't believe in turning the other cheek.
It's a classic devaluing of a black life. That's what it is.
Exactly.
If you live in New York City, or if you ever been in New York City and you've been on a train, you're going to get some entertainment. It might not be positive, it may be negative, but you mind your business. If no one's touching you or doing anything to you, there's no reason to put someone in the dope fiend for 6 minutes and take their life. Now, they didn't say anything about this guy that was murdered touching or doing anything to anyone. They say he was threatening to do things, but obviously he had some mental issues, which a lot of people have, you know, and a lot of people ride the train. So it is what it is. Mind your business. Who are you to take it into your own hands to take somebody's life? Again, the devaluing of a black life. If that was a white guy, he would have probably set him to the side and try to talk to him and try to nurture him and make sure he got off where he's supposed to get off, or blase plea or whatever. But when it comes to us, our lives are devalued. But then when you do say BLM, there's an issue. There's a problem. What about others? You see what happens when you devalue a black life and just take somebody's life just because he's screaming and hollering or whatever he was doing. It's New York City. What do you expect?
Yeah, we get the same thing on MARTA down here, man. You're in a large metropolitan area with a lot of different people with a lot of different problems.
Yeah, people have issues, man.
You know what I mean? And as long as somebody isn't harming you, or people can threaten all day, but as long as they're not touching anybody or actually causing any physical violence, man, just go about your day, man. Go about your day, bro.
Yeah, it's a sad situation because that man, Jordan, he lost his life. And the white man, yeah, you took things into your own hand, but you took it too far.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you was choking him, it got good to you. And you just had to go on ahead and just choke him all the way out. So we have to pay attention to what happens with this case, man, because you can't just devalue someone's life like that and just say, we just going to tap him on the wrist and let him slide. But as we continue on this particular episode of The Soup, man, I want to get into Mr. Byron Allen. And we all know who Byron Allen is, the mogul. He's got a case, man, with McDuff's, with the Golden Arches for $10 billion, not 10 million, but $10 billion.
So that.
He says he has proof that McDonald's does not advertise with black media. Now, were y'all aware of this whole Byron Allen suit with McDonald's?
Not I.
No, that's why I love Men of a Certain Age and can't wait to get with y'all every Sunday. I had no clue. Thank you very much.
I had an inkling of it because I was watching something with, I think, Ryan Clark and Chad Johnson earlier this week, and he was like, "Now McDonald's Chad." So I don't know. So I figured it was something to do with McDonald's this week. I just didn't know exactly what it was.
I didn't see it.
All right, so yeah, let's jump into that real quick.
Lawsuit against McDonald's is moving forward. A federal judge ruled he can go to trial in his lawsuit against McDonald's. This is the story from the Griot right here. Federal judge rules Byron Allen's $10 billion lawsuit against McDonald's for racial discrimination will go to trial. According to the federal judge, he ruled that there was enough evidence, there was sufficient evidence for the suit against McDonald's by his media companies under Section 1981 of the Civil Rights Act of 1866 to go to trial. It says the lawsuit alleges that the fast food chain blocked Allen and his media properties, including his TV networks and streaming assets, from McDonald's general market ad agency responsible for dispersing the vast majority of McDonald's massive ad budget. According to McDonald's spends hundreds of millions of dollars each year to advertise its products in national media. Instead, the lawsuit claims Allen and his companies were relegated to McDonald's black-only ad agency, which has a significantly smaller budget. The racial discrimination suit argues, despite annual pleas for the Allen media companies to be included in McDonald's general ad market, they remain in its black-only market because Allen is black, which Allen's parent company, Entertainment Studios, described as blatant and pernicious discrimination.
Pernicious.
In his 25-page ruling, the judge denied McDonald's motion for summary judgment in his favor and said the case will proceed in a court trial that could see Allen succeed in a groundbreaking racial discrimination suit. The reality is this here, Larry, what we are seeing a significant number of companies that are pulling back on their DEI efforts. We are seeing them pulling back on investments in black-owned media. I got no problem saying it. McDonald's advertised with us last year. We thought there was going to be it was supposed to be a multi-year deal. Came back up, only 1 year. That was it, nothing this year. And the reality is, when you look at a lot of these other different companies, the same thing. And again, for African Americans, it may be going the court route in order to seek justice for historically being ignored by these media companies, by these major companies. Some 340, close to $400 billion in America is spent every year on advertising, and black-owned media gets barely 1% out of the $340 billion.
Crazy.
Yeah, shout out to Byron Allen because he's been doing this for several years and trying to hold these corporations accountable as it relates to racial discrimination lawsuits. And I was pleased to see that this is moving forward, and hopefully he gets what he deserves. Not only that, hopefully he chips away at a system that traditionally loves Black culture, makes money off Black culture.
Yes.
But it won't see our humanity, so to speak. So shout out to Byron Allen for continuing to keep these corporations speak to their fire. Roland, you've been on your show. You talked. No, I was going to say, been on your show many times. You talked about the small percentage into which is dedicated to Black companies. And so hopefully with this lawsuit and the conversation you've had, the points you made throughout over the last several years, hopefully we see a shift in dynamic, but also we have to highlight that you're right. There is an attack on DEI initiatives, which really basically impact everyone. But anytime
Yeah, man, that's the gist of it. And shout to Roland for breaking that down and giving us the meat and potatoes of the suit. What's your thoughts on BA taking it to Mickey D's?
I love it. Obviously, McDonald's takes enough of our money on a yearly, daily, hourly, per minute basis. And they obviously shied away from the advertising that they used to have. Remember your boy, who was the dude that was going to McDonald's? Calvin, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even putting up, they ain't got 365 Black no more. I haven't heard that in a while. It's for as much as they're in our community, as many of us as they kill on them on a yearly basis with the type of diet that they push through McDonald's. I think it's good to see that, I guess, in a way that there's some type of equity that Byron is suing for. I'm not a proponent of fast food in any way, shape, or form, but I am a proponent for justice and equality. I want to see where it goes, because like I said, all these things that are racial related and involve the federal government are going to be interesting to see how they play out under the next administration, just because of their policies and the way that they look at things, starting with the repealing of affirmative action and things like that. Edward Blum and his type, I'm sure, are hard at work trying to make sure that this is an anomaly and that it's not successful.
So, Lord, last week we talked about Brother Malcolm's daughters suing the FBI and the NYPD and the CIA. And you said that was $100 million. You said they should have asked for more due to the fact that more than likely they're going to settle, and they're going to settle for less than that $100 million is. But you look at BA, like $10 billion is what I'm talking about.
I need all that.
Because BA is a man of a certain age. BA probably watched the show. Shout out to BA. You know what I mean? Fuck McDonald's, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is, like, they use us for what they want to use us for. They support Project 2025. I think they were on the list that you gave us, Fro. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they're on the list. So they don't want to incorporate DEI. Byron want to hit them in their pockets, and so shall we hit them in their pockets. Don't support them. It's just that simple, man. Stop supporting people who don't support you. Man, and the food is just gonna sit in your stomach for 3 months anyway. It's not good for you. Leave it alone. We don't need the golden narrative. There's a McDonald's where I grew up on the corner of Genesee and Bailey. Wow, this joint ain't gonna never shut down. I drove by yesterday. Man, that joint gone. It's shut down. It's done.
Boarded it up?
What is going on? It's boarded up and everything. Good. Shut them down. You know what I mean? We don't need y'all, man. Shit, make my own damn sandwich. Fuck.
Now, with that being said, fellas, we've talked in previous episodes about taking on the machine. We talked about Puff taking on the machine. We talked about Drake last week beginning to take on the machine. Now we got BA going against McDuff's, man.
BA probably got his background probably, I'm not going to say it's squeaky clean, but I think he's smart enough to know that he goes after people. I remember he went after Cable, right? So he knows he has in his background, he has experience with going after the big guys. So I think he's going to be all right. And they're going to settle, and he going to get some bread. He going to hit them in their pockets because that's what really hurts them.
And he's got the paper to support a mean law firm to make sure that he gets the best possible case out there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
They're gonna come after him, but they ain't gonna find much, bro. They ain't gonna find nothing. They're gonna try to fabricate some stuff, man.
Yeah, he's been a businessman since the beginning, so I think that his business connections are probably different from being an entertainer. A business world, if they're holding meetings and golf tournaments and those types of things, there's a different type of level of communication and fraternity, for lack of a better word. Even though business is cutthroat, and I'm sure that in business the first thing is always protect yourself in writing. I'm sure he's learned that a long time ago and protected himself to the point where I don't see anything that's gonna derail him, like I said, except for the incoming administration. That's just my personal view.
Yeah, shout out to Byron Allen. Like I said, man, since we was knee high to a tadpole, Byron Allen been on TV, producing shows and all types of stuff like that. We definitely got to pay attention in live in 25 on what's going on with Byron Allen and McDonald's, because that's something to really pay attention to, man. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and take this soup off the stove, man, and just real quick before we go ahead and wrap it up. UH, what you got for the folks today?
Man, I made a vow in 2024, at the beginning of the year. I vowed not to circle the block. I'm not going back to nobody I used to kick it with as far as females and no type of nothing. And you know what? I think I did very well for myself. But I do want to say that just because I don't deal with somebody in one way doesn't mean I can't deal with them another way, which means that if I fuck with you, if you're my friend, as you can tell with you guys, then I truly do fuck with you. So regardless if you're in a former lover or somebody like that, but if you're still my friend, I'm going to make sure that you're straight, but don't take advantage of it. Shouts out to me staying strong in 2024. I want to give a shout out to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, one time around the sun again on Thursday. So man, it's a little thing. It's a little thing that really make life good and make you feel like you're actually doing something out here. Yeah.
Man, that's lovely, man. And stay true to you. If you can't be true to yourself, who can you be true to?
Real shit.
And again, happy physical, my G.
No doubt. Born.
Panero, what you got for the people, man?
Yo, this is for my young guys, my young black guys out there, man. You have the ability to change the image that was given to you. Because Don would always say, when we come around the corner, all they see is black. But you have the ability to change that. You can be who you want to be without changing who you are. That's for men of a certain age. Something short and sweet for the soup, man.
Let's do it.
I appreciate that, man. And again, man, thank you both for being the biggest part of the soup, man. It is the same old soup, and we just reheating it. Until next time, man, stay out the way, and we'll see you next Sunday.
No doubt. Peace, peace, peace.